Are you thinking about selling your house this year? Well, the housing market has changed a little across the nation, and most houses aren't selling as fast as they were. So today we're giving you 5 of our best tips to selling your house that will save you time, money, and energy, so stay tuned. If you're anything like us, you like to weigh out options and make sure you're making the best decisions for yourself and your family. With there being so much information accessible at the tips of our fingers on the internet, it can get overwhelming trying to sift through and determine what's valid and what's not. Real estate is a local game that changes based on the market. The way houses are sold in California is not how houses are sold in Texas. And the way houses were sold back in 2020 definitely isn't the way houses are sold in 2023. So whatever you find on Zillow may not benefit your specific situation. Most of the tips we're going to give you today could be used wherever you live, but some will depend on your specific market. And we'll be speaking mainly today about our experience in the Dallas-Fort Worth housing market. Before we dive into our top 5 tips to selling, just a heads up, we'll be giving you a bonus tip at the end of this video that quite honestly will affect your entire house selling experience. So don't miss that one.
Our first tip is when to sell your house. Now, typically the spring and early summer months are the best selling season because the kids are out of school and this warmer weather, so it makes it for a nicer move. However, it doesn't mean you cannot sell your house at any other time of the year. We found that people buying a home in the fall and winter months are doing so for a very specific reason and are very motivated. It could be for a job relocation, aging parents, or another reason that has a time limitation. So you may have more potential home buyers in the spring and summer, but fewer and more highly motivated buyers in the fall and winter. If you're concerned about timing the market, well, that's almost impossible. Just like we saw in 2022, when the mortgage interest rates jumped up in June, a third of the home buyers could no longer afford a home, which slowed down the market considerably. We went from homes selling within 24 hours up to 7% over the seller's asking price on average, to homes sitting for a few weeks before selling at or just below list price. The biggest tip I can give you here is to sell your home when it makes the most sense for you and your family. Of course, if the market is shifting downward and it works for your timeline, put it on the market as soon as possible. A practical step is give yourself a specific date you want to have your home to be on the market. That way you'll give yourself time to prepare your house and the place you'll want to be moving to.
Our next tip to selling your house is on how to hire the right real estate agent. You know, real estate agents are just like any other professional and not all the same. There are a few things to look for and questions to ask. Our biggest and best tip here is to get the answers to the following questions. First, how long have they been in the real estate business and what is their experience level? Do the homes they sell sit on the market for long periods of time? Do the homes they list sell for a lot less than their original list price? Secondly, do they show knowledge of the market? Do they bring a list of comparable homes that sold in your area to use as a pricing guide for your home? Or do they just pick a number as a listing price that sounds about right? Are they able to tell you why comparable homes sold for a certain price? Was a house needing foundation work or updating so it sold for less than other homes? Did they create a net sheet showing you all of your potential closing costs associated with selling? Do they have a process and a plan for actually getting your home sold? Are they able to tell you what they will do to sell your home and what will happen if it doesn't sell at the price you agreed upon? And how will they communicate with you while your house is on the market? When can you expect to hear from them? Do they have a communication guarantee? And how will they be keeping you informed of what's going on in the real estate market and how that affects your home? Will they allow you to fire them if they aren't upholding the expectations that were set in the beginning? You know, sometimes people are concerned about committing to a real estate agent without knowing exactly what to expect. So be sure and ask if they agree to have an easy exit clause in the listing agreement. This means that if you're not happy with the service they provide, you can cancel the listing agreement based on a mutual understanding of certain expectations agreed upon up front. All these things are really important to know, but first and foremost, you must trust them. You have to know that your agent will be truthful with you even when there's bad news. If you don't have a good rapport with them and trust that they will honor what's in your best interest and not necessarily their own, then move on. They must be willing to be honest with you at all costs. And one last thing on hiring a real estate agent. A bad agent can cost you a lot. Missing deadlines, not having experience and knowledge of the market, not knowing how to negotiate, lack of communication with you, potential buyers, or others in the transaction, and a host of other things. If an agent is willing to discount their commission or tell you anything you want to hear, whether it's true or not, many times that means they are desperate for a sale and may not have the value that you need to actually get your home sold for top dollar with little to no hassle.
Our third tip to selling your house is to actually getting the house ready to be sold. One of the biggest questions we get is when to do repairs or upgrades and when just to sell it the way that it is. It actually depends on your specific situation, such as the time you have to sell, how much money do you have to do the repairs or updates, what type of repairs or updates need to be done to make the home similar to the others in your neighborhood, and the current market conditions. There's no doubt about it, most home buyers don't want to buy a house that they have to spend more money on to fix up or update to the current neighborhood standards. If there's something that they see is needing to be repaired or updated, they feel that it's only fair to take that amount that they perceive that it would cost off of the list price. Now keep in mind that most buyers will estimate a repair or remodel to be 3 times the actual cost. A home that needs updates or repairs will likely sit on the market longer and sell for less than others in the area. So which updates should you do? You'll need to discuss that with your real estate agent. They'll help you know what other homes in your neighborhood look like, whether they've been updated or not, and with what type of finish outs. As far as repairs, I can tell you that most of the time when a home buyer finds out that something is in need of repair, they begin to wonder what else is wrong with the house. Distrust settles in and many times they get cold feet. Unfortunately, if they move in and they find out other things have not been fixed or disclosed, you may just have a lawsuit on your hands. Our biggest tip here, in our opinion, it is best to fix things that are broken up front if you can. And always, always, always disclose anything that you know of that needs repair on the seller's disclosure notice.
Next on our list of tips to selling your house is about marketing. Marketing your home for sale has definitely changed over the years. There are still some tried and true ways, but the internet, social media, and YouTube have changed the game. Since 90% of home buyers start their search online, your first home showing is virtual. Our best tip on marketing your home is to make sure it really shines and stands out on the internet, which means that it should first and foremost have great professional photos to catch the eye of potential buyers. After amazing eye-catching photos, one of the biggest things you can do to market your home is to tell its story. To do this, answer a few questions like, what are the unique features that will grab the attention of a potential buyer? What made you fall in love with the house? Does it have something that no other house in the neighborhood has? What is it like to live in this house? What makes it really stand apart from all the other homes in the area? A list of features that make up what the top 20% of home buyers are looking for is a home office, swimming pool with hot tub, large yard, private backyard, a large gourmet kitchen, an exercise room, picturesque views of the sunset, golf course, lake, or a green space, a walk-in shower, 3 or 4 car garage, a workshop, a covered back patio with kitchen, and a mother-in-law suite or a second master suite on the first floor. Now, your house doesn't have to have these features, but if they do, you definitely want to feature them in your marketing. When telling your home story, you'll want to know how to turn a perceived negative into a positive. For example, if the home is across from an elementary school, some people may view this as a negative in dealing with morning and afternoon traffic, but it could be great for a family with young children. Being able to walk their kids to school every day may be perfect for them. This shows that knowing who your potential buyer will be is really helpful in your marketing. Is it a young couple buying their first home? Or empty nesters that are looking to downsize to a 1-story home? Or is it a growing family that needs lots of bedrooms with a large backyard and a pool? Your marketing should make your home irresistible to the right buyer. The more you emotionally engage the buyers and show the value your home offers, the more they'll want to buy the home and they will justify the cost. We all buy items emotionally if it betters our lives and the value is there. One last thing about marketing that goes hand in hand with the real estate agent you hire. As your agent markets your home for sale, they will have potential buyers engage with their marketing. As they respond, your agent should be following up with them to answer any questions they have about the property. This is another form of selling your home, and unfortunately, we hear sometimes from buyers that agents just don't return their calls or messages about the property that they're interested in. These could be missed opportunities. Before we move on to our tips on pricing your house to sell, if you want our full list of all 9 tips, click on our free download below, Tips to Selling Your House Guide. We go into a lot more detail in the guide as well.
Now let's get into our biggest tip on how to price your house to sell and not just sit on the market. Well, actually, that is our biggest tip on pricing. Price your home to actually sell. I know that may sound crazy, but too often we see people pricing their home above where the market is selling, only to wind up discouraged and frustrated when it just sits on the market day after day without any offers. There are actually quite a few things that go into how to price your house to sell. But let's talk first about how not to price your house. It's not based upon what you paid for the property. It's not based upon your property tax value. It has nothing to do with what your neighbor says and nothing to do with what the cost to rebuild. And it's not based upon what you need or you want. Unfortunately, we have seen many homeowners and agents as well put a price on a property based on one of these things. You might get lucky, but wouldn't you rather go with a more certain strategy? When deciding on a price of your home, you have to look at what other properties in your area have sold for most recently, as well as homes that are currently priced at. Then you have to take into account what the overall market is doing. Is the market going up or is it going down? Are we in a buyer's market or are we in a seller's market? Pricing your home above others for sale in your area only works if you have something that is sought after as a feature that other homes don't have, or the market is going up. The homes for sale near you that are similar to your home are your competitors, and you have to take that into consideration when pricing your home. The internet has made home buyers very savvy when looking for and comparing homes. If they're searching for a home in a specific price range, they'll know immediately if they see a home that's in the price range that doesn't have near the features that the other homes offer. They are looking for a home that offers the most features and benefits for the least amount of money. And that's what we call value in the eyes of the buyer. This is why many times when people price their home a little higher to, quote, leave room for negotiations, they wind up not getting the offer that they're really hoping for. When people see the value in your home and they see it's priced within the market, you're more likely to get your price. We tend to see more multiple offers and over list price situations when the home is priced right and it shows value to the potential buyers. There's so much more that we could say about pricing, but we'll have to dive into that in a future video.
Now let's jump into our bonus tip. The biggest tip I can give you before you ever do any of the previous tips that we've shared with you is to get really clear on why you want to sell your house. I know this may sound really strange, but we've helped a lot of families sell their homes since 2003. And when there isn't a clear reason for all parties involved, it can be a lot more difficult and it can cost you. Your why or your motivation for selling will be important for you to focus on as you go through the process. When things get tough and you're feeling the stress, it helps to focus back on your big reason and why you're doing all this. If on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being you wanted to sell your house yesterday, if you're not an 8 to 10, I would say you may want to reconsider selling. Now, there are typically 3 main reasons why someone wants to sell their home. The first is for a better quality of life or a different lifestyle. This might look like needing a bigger home for your growing family or a smaller home since all the kids are gone, wanting to be closer to family, work, or better schools. Now, a second reason is usually related to finances. Someone may want to cut down on their housing expenses and get a smaller home or yard. Or the opposite, a new job or promotion may mean a bigger house or yard is possible. It could be that interest rates are so low, money is cheap, and lots of equity in their current home means there are more finances to put into a new and better home. And a third reason is usually tied to the loss of a family member or divorce situation. And these are tough ones that usually have a completely different set of circumstances and tips that we'll save for another time. We found that answering a few questions will really help guide you into the clarity that you'll need when deciding to sell your home, and in turn give you peace during the selling process. If you'd like the questions that we generally ask our clients, you can get them in our Tips to Selling Your House guide at the link below.